Imagine a continent brimming with potentials, where its youngest population holds the promise of better future. Nigeria, having the largest economy in Africa, millions of its youth and children can't access quality education. What if I tell you that the lack of this access to quality education is due to the archaic educational curriculum that is being used in Africa? What if I tell you that this archaic curriculum has helped to breed and produce graduates who are not employable in our society today? Don't take my word for it. Let me give you an instance from my personal experience. In my first degree, I did computer science. And when I got admission, I was positioned with a lot of courses that has nothing to do with the course of study I was offered. I had to do things like biology, chemistry, English, and many of them. Some from different departments and different faculty that had nothing to do with the course of study which I was there for. Can you imagine the kind of distraction those courses must have caused for a lot of students? Some even go to the point of having extra years because of borrowed courses that has nothing to do. Not to talk about the course of study in my own field of study that has nothing to do with the current trends in our society. Currently, we are in the world of technology. And imagine someone teaching you programming language like Fortran, expecting you to know it. And you'll be judged with regards to that in examination. I graduated many years ago. Till date, I can still understand the essence of me learning Fortran. I can still understand the essence of me learning QBasic. I can still fathom why we went through the stress of learning all these programming languages. Why am I still being taught 8088 and 8086 microprocessor? Even during my MSc, while we have recent discoveries, we have latest technology that is trending that we are supposed to be positioning to students out there. Now the question is, why haven't Nigerian educational system thought it wise, think about changing the curriculum and make it more recent to blend into the recent technology in our society? I don't even want to talk about other field of study. I just want to use where I have knowledge to explain what I believe that is causing problem in our educational system. How can I spend 4 years in the university? Some spend 5 years in the university doing computer science, computer engineering. And throughout your stay in school, you end up not running any programming on your system. A lecturer will come and be running program on the board for you. Why? And the program they are running on the board is all those archaic programs, not even recent one. These things are affecting our productivity in the society. And funny thing is that during your thesis, your project, and the rest of them, you are being expected to do something exceptional. Yeah. The serious ones who wants to go far and go extra mile do go out to learn programming languages and some other things on their own outside the four walls of the university, and they are able to create something and present. Some students go to the extent of providing softwares that you won't even believe that is an African that was able to design it. I'm calling on all the Minister of Education across African continent and across all the countries, especially in Nigeria, to look into the educational curriculum in Nigeria. It needs to be updated into the recent things happening across the world. We need to adapt. We need to blend. That's the only way we can be able to compete in the world. Yes, someone can come out and say, what are you saying? Are Nigerians not producing best graduating student who goes out there to? Nigerians can produce anything once it comes to theory. I don't argue it. But I bet you, practically, when you see a Nigerian student doing exceptionally well in practical, that person didn't just learn that in the four walls of the university. That person happened to learn it outside the school. The person went for extra classes to learn that. I don't know how it works maybe in the Western world or other places because I have never attended school over there. But in my own wisdom, I feel and I strongly believe that the curriculum should be an organized courses that students should be doing that has to be recent. Yes, if we want to do history, if we want to do a big throwback and talk about Michael Faraday to know the genesis of what gave the electricity of today and all that, the current of today, ohms and the rest of them, yes, we can talk about them to have an idea. But when we come to the university level, I think we should concentrate. Because all these things they keep on telling us over and over again in the university level are things that we were taught in the secondary school. I don't know if it's because they are teaching us based on what they know. Someone can say Nigeria is not producing anything. Nigeria is not producing anything. Most Africans are not producing anything. How can we produce when our educational system is nothing to write home about? And even in Nigerian system, where you hear we don't produce anything, they are only talking about agriculture. They are only talking about food. Technology-wise, nobody is talking about that. But we are supposed to be producing things in that aspect and be exporting them. Go to China today. In China, you see even secondary school students producing something because they are updating themselves and it's making them teach them things that makes them to understand. You don't come on the board and tell me things without telling me the practical. How do you want me to understand it? You are teaching me in a foreign language, in a language that is not my mother tongue. There is tendency that when you make some statement, I will not have an in-depth understanding of what you are saying. But when you show me practical, I will be able to understand. The school system in Africa have failed to understand this. Some are being taught in French language, some are being taught in English language, and these are foreign languages. There is no way you can be teaching someone without practical in those languages, and you're expecting that person to have an in-depth knowledge of what you are saying. In fact, the person will understand it on the surface without having an in-depth knowledge of what you are saying. And funny enough, the person doesn't even know that he or she doesn't have an in-depth knowledge on what you are teaching them. I'm calling on all the people who are in charge when it comes to our educational system to look into the curriculum. And again, I'm calling also the school to stop bothering people with courses which they are not there for. It has caused more harm than good. You will see some persons having extra years in the university simply because they borrowed course from another department. And the school will have the effrontery to keep that person to come and write extra years because the person failed a course that is not the course which he or she is there for. For me, I feel those things should be a no-no. When someone gets admission into the university, let me still use computer science as an instance. When someone gets admission into the university, the person should be able to do what? Look into all the courses within computer science and choose I bet you there is no how. Let's say I go into the university as a computer science student, then immediately after the introduction, maybe first semester, where I'm being introduced to edit everything that has to do with computer science. From second semester, that's in year one, I'm choosing a course to do. Like, let's say I'm moving into app development. There is no how I will do app development for 4 good years in the university without me being a genius in app development. You will see that I will start manufacturing my own programming language. I will be able to produce codes that will enable me to create apps that people will begin to ask, where did this person manufacture this thing from? Because when you practice a particular thing over time, you become a master in it. We are being distracted by teaching us things that are no longer in vogue, and also bombarding us with heavy loads of courses that has nothing to do or impact in our life in near future. I guess my case is same as yours. Listening to this, I strongly believe that course you did, if you look into it critically, you will find out that if you measure it with what is trending today in our society, you will find out that what you were being taught or what they are teaching you currently are things that have existed in 1970s, 1980s, 1920s. We strongly need an update. We strongly need an update in our school system. We strongly need an update in our courses. These are ways that the Nigerian system, the quality can grow. The quality can come up and compete with other educational systems in the world. The educational system in Africa and in Nigeria needs a total overhaul. It needs to be overhauled. We can't keep on doing this over and over, and we're expecting to produce genius across the globe to compete in the recent world of technology. If you see anybody in Africa, in Nigeria, who is doing extraordinary, the person didn't learn it in the 4 walls of the university. Yes, university can aid you that I'm reading computer science. Because of that, I decided to maybe register myself for a particular course. Yeah, but in the university, that 4 walls of the university, that's not where you get it. That's not where you will get it. People reading marketing, they can equally agree with me that what they are being taught are things existed in 1940s, not the current marketing system in the world, for them to be able to compete in the market global space. So I will call it a day at this point. I want those who are in charge to ensure that they look into the syllable and everything and update them to the recent things happening, so that the quality of education in Africa and in Nigeria can compete, so that people across the globe can be an international student in Africa too. Not we rushing to other countries to be an international student there, so that people can also rush to Africa as an international student to also school in Africa. It will also help to boost our economy. So I'm calling on the government across Africa to invest heavily in education and update the educational curriculum. Thank you.